This is ATRT squad reporting in. No sign of separatist activity.
Affirmative, sir.
Hi, we're back. Thanks for all those people who've been watching my other 3 videos about making the lower parts of the fiberglass armour. I really appreciate all the comments that people have been sending and the questions people are asking. Okay, so now as we move on to the upper thigh part of the armour, we come across new problems. Now I don't know how your armour may look. The ones that I got particularly don't fit very well. Basically, as you can see, there is a huge discrepancy in the actual shape of both of them. And this is part of the reason why people say don't go for fiberglass, because you have so many problems with fitting things together. Okay, and why a lot of people like to go for the ABS plastic suits, which sometimes are a little bit more expensive, but you're buying something that is a lot more flexible and a lot easier to put together. Okay, so what we're going to end up doing is, like, that's my left leg. The front part is much wider than the back, but then when I turn over to my right leg, I have a different problem altogether. This is my right leg, and suddenly it's the back part which is bigger than the front. So as you can see, we have a lot of things to try and figure out. Okay, what we've also got to do is, although we want to keep some of this flashing onto the inside, it's where the armour turns in, we want to keep some of that to keep the stability and the strength of the fiberglass. We're also going to have to trim some of it away. So that's basically what we're going to do today now, is that we're going to mark out our cutting lines, and we're going to trim this down a little bit to help us a little bit more flexible, and being able then to shape it and being able then to attach it to the back part of the armour. Okay, so as always, I suggest having a pair of work gloves to help when touching and carrying the armour before you prep it. It stops you from getting fiberglass splinters and other things in your hands, and sometimes these things can be pretty sharp, so always be careful. Again, we've got our marker or Sharpie. All these are alcohol based, so like if you do make a mistake in drawing something, you can always use surgical spirits or alcohol to remove the mark that you made before you draw your new line. That's perfectly up to you. But as I said, we're just going to mark a little bit around where we want to trim some of this flashing, because it's a bit too much. As I said, we don't want to trim too much of it. We need to get some of it off. Okay, so something like that you want to have on the sides, and I keep a lot of this front part because that's going to be the main stability of the leg. And we're going to lose some of this bit here, not too much, just a little. Okay, the rest of that seems perfectly fine. Okay, and then on the back here the same, we're going to trim some of this down. Now I'm also going to look a bit closely about how this joins up. Will there be enough? Will the lines match up a lot? There I can see they will. And again, the same on this side. Let's have a look. Now I notice here that I'll be cutting up too much on this side, so I'm going to bring that line back in a little bit to meet up with that one. Again, I'm just cross-hatching it to remind me where I am cutting. Okay. That's fine, and the end is fine. There's nothing wrong with the end. Even the back part here, I think is totally fine. We might end up trimming it up a little bit later, but for now we're going to keep it as it is because I don't want to touch this piece, okay, until I try it on. And I can't try it on until I trim off these parts and figure out then how this is going to attach to the other part. Okay, so I'm going to bring you back once I've marked out the two of them and we just start cutting. Now, something also to be mindful of, as I'd marked this one out and then I was marking out my other thigh, I realised that there was a lot more flashing on my left leg than there was on my right thigh. So again, you're going to have to be careful and make sure that when you're cutting that you're going to make them symmetrical, that they're going to match up. They're going to look very similar together, okay, because you don't want to be very thin and want to be very thick, because that's going to throw off the look of your armour. So do make sure that when you're marking out your lines that they do correspond to your opposite leg, that you're going to get the same type of finish at the top of your thigh. Okay, so now we're going to start cutting these out, and as always, make sure that you wear a good dust mask. This is fiberglass we are talking about. Make sure you have a good dust mask, gloves, and as always, goggles. You don't want any of those bits getting into your eyes. Make sure it fits properly. Here we go. Okay, and as always, be safe. We have trimmed down the edges, and what we're going to do now, same as we did the last time with the lower pieces, we're going to sand out the insides of the armour with some, this is 120 rough sandpaper, the soft sponge, and this will take out any bits that might be sticking out, any fibres, and smooth it down. So then when we try fitting this on, it's not going to rip our clothes or get into our undersuit later on once we fit it, okay? So just give it a good down. I'm just going to give this a nice wipe out. Get any dust out of it. The other two things we're going to do is we're going to put some vinyl tape inside like we did with the last one. We're going to put some down at the bottom, the triangle part on both sides, and we're going to put some up on the top, but we're going to put it just on the, this is the inside of the thigh, this is the outside of the thigh. I'm going to put some along here. The reason for this is that we're going to attach Velcro or sticky, whatever you call it, hook and loop tape to it later on, and I don't want to put this on top of the paint. I just want to put it directly onto the armour. Okay, so again, I'm just cutting off a bit. Hang on, scissors. Will make life a lot easier. Make sure you put it on the center part of the triangle. Down here. The same with the other side. And now we're just going to put some on the inside of the top. So this part on the inside is going to be part of our suspension system. So I'm not putting it right up to the top, I'm just putting it just about there. It's about 2 inches from the top down, and at least about 4 inches in from the side. Okay, and then what that will do then is that will sit on a suspension system onto our waist belt to hold the armour up. This part down here is going to be attached to the knee armour. Now I'm making these quite long because I don't want just to have a little bit of Velcro. I need to have a lot of Velcro, because the more Velcro you have, the better these things will stick. Some people like to use press studs as well, which means we can also do the same thing. If we wanted to put press studs on, then this will, the backing of the piece you make with the press stud on is going to stick onto this a lot better than with paint. Okay, because that's what we're going to do now. Well, not now, but later on, before we actually stick it all together, we're going to paint it on the inside. So I've still got my mask and goggles on. I'll put some glasses on this time, which I can take off actually. Anyway. And keeping my mask on because there's still dust floating around in the air. Okay, and I'm going to cut up some strips, now tape, because I'm going to use these in a minute to hold my leg armour into place while I try and fit it and mark it out. So, as always, I'll put my gloves back on. And as I said in the very first video, make sure you always have an old pair of clothes. This is covered in fiberglass dust. So, first piece of the leg is going to be the left one. We're going to do here. Okay, so that goes there. And that somehow is going to catch on the back. So this is the hard part. This is too narrow, and we're going to have to trim it back, but we don't know where we're going to trim it yet. So first of all, we're going to fit it on. Be very careful when you're doing this, because there's still a lot of sharp corners in your suit, and just always be very careful with it. It could rip your pants. It has ripped these pants before. And then this one is around the front. Now, like so. Now, so I want to get this out very quickly. I'm just going to tap that down. And push these up. Yeah, very quickly. That's right there. Now, so that's kind of what we want to do. The first piece. Okay. That's kind of snug there now. Not too snug, just nice. Still move it up and down. Pants would be again. Okay. Put there. Now I get this one. This one. Yeah, we're going to fit this one. And then this one over it. go. It's going to be something like that. Now this is the test. Can I just slip them down? Because this is how you're going to put them on and off. Take my shoe off a bit. Put out. There's one. Shoe back up. And then the same this one. Let me slide it down. Get the shoe off. That. Now, I have a fairly good idea where these are going to go. Okay. And as we can see, these parts are matching up. There's an overhang here. These parts are matching up. There's an overhang here. Okay, so we know we're going to have some trim marks on those. Same with these are fitting in nicely there now. Again, there's overhang. That's lining up nicely with that one. And again, there's overhang on this one. Okay, so we're just going to sit down now and mark these out. This one first. This one's not too bad because the outside piece is tighter than the back piece, so it actually grabs it nicely and it's all nicely in place. You can see where the tape is nicely taut. Okay, and I am going to put a line down this, but this is not going to be a cut line. This is my join line. And put where I got the end bit. Deal with that later. Again. There. Now, this is the difficult one because my outside piece is bigger than my inside piece, and I'm going to have to at some point figure out how I'm going to clasp these together. So this is where finding out where this fits and joins is very important. So I'm actually having to push down on it a lot, keep it all in place while I'm drawing. Again, the end piece. And then I'm going to find out where this is at the back. Now that's another problem you have to make sure is that this piece is lined centre at the back. It's not going to be one side or the other side when you're joining it up. Okay, so I hope you understand what I mean. Like if I put this side down too much, this centre piece is going to be lopsided when you put it on my leg, because I want the triangle to be flush to the front. Okay, so I'm going to make sure it's going to be dead centre. It is there. Okay, this side's not too bad. It hooks on nicely. Again, these are glue lines. Really. Okay. So there we go. There's my lines. Now, in the other videos when I was joining up the lower parts, I then cut again and left myself a strip. But I have just a nice strip here now. What I will do is round off the top bit a little bit, and then I need to know where I'm going to cut at the bottom. Okay, I don't need these sharp corners on the inside of the armour, and the reason why I'm giving it a good thick strip is because I want these to bond together very well. So that's why I'm going to give myself the thickness to be able to bond it, because with this one I have to bend it in to attach to this one. Okay, so I'm just going to finish my lines off here. So, like so, and then I'm going to do a little curve, so I'm going to cut that off later on. Same this one, I don't want this sharp piece on the inside. Nice piece there. Now, and I'm going to bring this round. I need to cut all that off. Now I'm going to have to check, because as far as I remember, I'll check with my pictures with the stuff, that sometimes this part of the thigh has a little notch in it at the bottom, so I'm going to check on that and come back to you. Okay, but for now, that's all I'm doing. I'm just going to bring this round. If there is a notch in it, I want to know before I cut. Okay. Two. Down. Put that down. Again, I'm just going to round off this little bit here. Same this side, just get rid of the pointy bit. Okay, so we've drawn our lines. I'm decided I'm going to stick her together first before, well, I'm going to cut off these bits and then I'm going to stick her together before I sort out the end part here on both sides, because I might need to trim them back up again. But before I do that, so remember I had sanded out the insides to make sure there's no rough pieces. I've stuck down my tape where I'm going to stick my Velcro later on, and now I'm just going to give it a quick coat of paint on the inside to seal it up before I put it on, before I do anything. And as before, it's the same paint I use. This is kind of an all-purpose outdoor paint, which can go on metal, wood or plastic, and this just comes in white. It's not a gloss white or anything like that, it just says white, so that's really it. And it has one of those kind of weird spray nozzles on it to make it go this way instead of just in a big ball. And give it a good shake. Not too worried about heating this up because the humidity here now is quite high. So, and remember, always wear a mask when spray painting. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a quick paint on the inside. Give it a coat. Right, how you doing? We're back again. Just come home from work. I've been leaving these to dry and to think about what I was going to do. I didn't cut these off in the end. I'm just going to try fitting these together. Now, I just wanted to show you up close again the problems that you might have with doing fiberglass. My back part, my front part, this one. Sorry, wrong way around. Ba-bum. Get these the right way around now. Don't look so stupid. As you can see, there is a major difference in that one and then this one. It's a tight fit. I can get that inside. Okay, so I can put this one inside this one, no problems. See, that sits in nicely. Actually, I can make it a little bit bigger. It's nice. I said before. Okay, so that does fit in nicely. I have no problems with that. That is quite nice. I got this is sitting nicely then with the square piece at the bottom. So they would be fine. Okay. My problem comes with the second set, these ones. Now, I was thinking, could I squeeze the big one into the little one? And I never thought about that until last night while I was in bed, and it does. So I'm going to go and, yeah, I'm going to do this in reverse. Okay, I'm going to do this in reverse. So what I mean is, with this one, the front piece is going over the back piece, but on the other leg, the back piece is going over the front piece. and that should solve my problem. Now when I say solve my problem, I don't want to have how can I say, I don't want it to be weak. I need my thighs to be very strong. And I think a lot of people who have cut and spliced theirs realise then that they feel that it's not strong enough and they've had to reinforce more fiberglass on the inside. But I think if I do it this way, it's going to be a lot better. Okay, so I can still follow the lines that I have, and I've just noticed that that lines up nicely on that side. This side lines up a little bit better, maybe not. But anyway, we're going to do it that way. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stick these on the outside on this leg, and that should solve my problem. Now I'm going to have to grind this bit down. As I said, I was going to cut it off anyway, but I'm going to grind it down once it's actually glued. I shouldn't have any problems with that. I can grind it down, and then when I put the filler in, it should cover it up nicely. Okay, so now what I'm also using, which a lot of people use, is these earth magnets. Now I'm not too sure if it's going to work for me, but it will help hold it together. And let's see how this goes. Let's start gluing and let's start catching. I usually do this one at a time, so I'm going to do the difficult leg first and see how that turns out. Okay, and then we'll go back and do the other leg tomorrow if we have time after work. So as usual, I'm going to give this a dry run. Hang on, I want to see. It's exactly the size. This is my worry a bit. Okay, I'm giving this a dry run, so if I glue on that, slide it in, that to go there, that to go there, and then I can put my clamps on. Okay, this might work. Okay, this might work. Everyone keeps asking me what am I using to bond this with. It's called Big Bond. It's a Japanese made epoxy glue. Okay, so that's it. It's called Big Bond. Now, as always, I'm going to put gloves on. And let's start sticking this. I do have to be careful because when this put on, it does start to run around the place a little bit. So now, okay, I've got that there. I tell you what, I'm going to put this on this side. Oh, one of my major rules that I normally do, I just forgot to do, which is make sure your pieces are always open. Right, okay. Yeah, doesn't have too much pressure on it. Alright. Just a little, try not to do. Yeah, okay, that's that one. And now Oh, before I forget, I'll open this one now. There we go. Now, let's try this one again. And before I forget, I'll put my top on. And let's see if this works as I did in the dry run. Oh, it does. There we go. Now, well, that fits. This is working pretty well, guys. It has gone on exactly as I wanted it to and right into place. Cool. Like that. I'm sorry if you're not seeing any of this. It's just me clamping this down. I thought I put it too tight. Now, there we go. It is clamped into place. Now I'm going to put on some of these magnets. Holding the sides a bit. Somebody said if you put 2 at a time, they make a bit of contact. So that's what I'm going to do. 2, 3, 4. And that just gives a bit more pressure on the sides. Notice this side now needs. There we go. I have everything clipped on and in place, and it's looking good. Right, there we go. So, we'll be back to you when it's set.
Enemy droid sighted.
Roger, Command. We are on the move.